Howdy YouTube, welcome to our first Q&A video. We've had this idea in the works for a long time, and basically we see a lot of other YouTubers who do this because we get enough comments that we can't reply to every little comment and every little question that you all have with the level of detail we would like.
Right.
So we figured some questions are worth talking about, like giving the long answer on, and that's what today's video is. We want to give you some answers to some commonly asked questions that we've received on at least one occasion. Before we jump into the questions though, there are 6 of them. Before we jump into that, we want to tell you how you can submit questions to us, because this is not the first Q&A we'll ever do. This is just Q&A episode 1. And if you have questions that you would like to submit for a future Q&A video, you can send them to this address, mikeandmel@2inazoo.com. There it is on the screen down here.
2, like the number 2.
In the bottom down here somewhere, 2inazoo. mikeandmel@2inazoo.com. So send us questions to that email address and we will make sure that they get put on our list. We'd prefer you to email them, that way we can document them really well. If you put it in the comment section, we might miss it. So we're gonna jump into the questions. We have 6 of them. Question number 1 is, why did you not adopt domestically? And that's a great question. Why didn't we?
We get that often.
We get that actually very often. We've gotten that from people we know locally who live here in our local county, in maybe in our family. Have we gotten it from family members before, I think?
I don't think family necessarily.
Maybe not
extended family.
Extended family has. And it's not an uncommon question. Even people from India are curious why we chose India. This is a deep question. We feel it's no surprise. We are Christians. We pray a lot. We believe God moves your life down a path that he can foresee, and he knows what's best for us. And instead of us wondering what do we want to do, we spend less time asking that question and asking more, what does God want us to do? Where is he leading our lives? And we do know that God has used our own past experiences and our personal heart for the country of India to drive us there. We've shared in a past video. In fact, it was the video where we were doing the interview for the local newspaper. We watched a movie called It's a Girl. We recommend you watch it. And it's one of the many reasons that we had just a special place in our hearts for children in India. There's more orphans in India than any other country in the world. There are tens of thousands of children in India that go missing every year. And, you know, that happens in every country, but we just, we had a heart, I guess we just had a heart for how much it happens in India. The fact of the matter is also, there are less opportunities to adopt in America than you might think. We have looked into domestic adoption. Yeah. Most orphanages in America do not have abandoned children in them. They have children who are being placed there temporarily, maybe while parents are trying to get back on their feet, or any number
financial reasons,
or for financial reasons, right? For any number of reasons. But those orphanages are more like a temporary home more often than not, while children are waiting to be placed again with their birth parents. So there's tons of things we could go into, but it touched our hearts when we saw the movie It's a Girl. We prayed a lot about specifically India and China, and we just felt that everything that God was doing in our life was drawing us toward India. And we love the culture. We really do.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We absolutely love the Indian culture. So there was just so much in us that was drawn there that we just felt that it was right. So maybe that's the answer you're looking for. Maybe it's not. It may produce other questions. If you have other questions about it, email them to us and we'd be happy to continue to answer any questions you all have on this topic. So we've got another question.
How does homeschooling work with Cadence and the language barrier? And will she ever have an English tutor? Let's go to the English tutor because that's an easier question. No, she won't have an English tutor. It'll be all about like immersion into the culture and into we speak English, so she'll pick it up. We've been told like within 6 months. You'll be amazed at how much she can retain and what words she knows and use them properly. So with that, we had looked into tutors, but everyone had said don't do that.
Even the Indian, Bengali speaking tutors, people we know at our church, we have an Indian man, Hi Prem, who goes to our church. He said, don't, he basically told us, you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
She's going to pick it up. Children pick up language like a sponge. She really is. She's already coming into my office and saying full sentences. And I'm like, wow, how did you learn that? And Melanie is doing homeschool with her, and she'll hit that on the next question. But Cadence is just going above and beyond what we can keep up with. And she's learning contextually by immersion how to use English. And it's funny, most people don't know this, but Rosetta Stone, if you've ever heard the Rosetta Stone product, it's so popular because it teaches language by immersion. And they say, Rosetta Stone at least advertises that the best way to learn language is by immersion. That's why some people will go just live in Paris for a year of their life if they really want to learn, French. Thank you. I couldn't remember their language. If they really want to learn French, you just go live there, and you find out you can pick it up pretty quick.
We have also somebody's asked us, what about Rosetta Stone? Where she is, being her age, Rosetta Stone is not an option. So that was also a question that we hear quite frequently. How does homeschool work? We are still in the process of figuring out where she is. How much language she knows, where she is in math. She's really excelling in math. We did adding and subtraction today, and she's doing really well. With English, we are teaching her nouns for the most part. So I point to a picture and I ask her if she knows. Not telling her what it is, asking her if she knows. And she's doing really well. There are some that she still speaks Bengali, and so in our homeschool, she can speak Bengali at home, but in homeschool when we're teaching English, it's straight up English, just no Bengali. And so she still says Bengali a little bit when she doesn't understand it. I just told her, if you don't understand or you don't know, that's fine. Just let me know. Yeah,
we tell her whenever whether we're doing homeschool or we're trying to get an answer to a question out of her, we tell her, answer in whatever word you know. We don't tell her no Bengali. We don't do that because we want her to be comfortable. And if she could learn English and remember Bengali, that would be ideal. Knowing more than one language nowadays is like, you can get a job. Yeah. More jobs are available to you because you're bilingual. That would be awesome. But so we don't tell her not to speak Bengali. We tell her answer in whatever word you know, whether it's English or Bengali, and she's cool with that. Mm-hmm. We're also thinking about doing like flashcards. That would be cool for nouns. You can't do flashcards with verb, because a picture of a boy running, she might not say run. She might say boy or the color of the boy's shirt. Right. She won't know what we're asking. So flashcards don't really work for verbs. Verbs you have to sometimes teach in action. And actually we do that as we go. We find opportunities where she'll be doing something or saying something and we'll stop and teach her the word. So just trying to build her vocabulary one day at a time. Yeah. It's really interesting. Homeschool is very organic for her because I feel like at times we're homeschooling her all day long because everything's a learning opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. I have to come back to the math. And Melanie touched on math. She did addition and subtraction. I'm just blown away. She sat down. We knew that she knew numbers. Check out the video of her counting to 30. It was like 2 or 3 days after she got home. And that was so cool. But then we were like, I wonder if she knows what to do with those numbers. Sure enough, she can do simple addition, simple addition, simple subtraction, and it's impressive. I love watching her do it. She sits down there with her book and her pencil, and she just looks happy while she's doing her school. It's really sweet.
We're not doing a curriculum right now, because again, it just doesn't make sense to pay for a set curriculum when you don't know where she is. Mm-hmm. She could be she could be first grade in math, kindergarten, first grade in math, and not and be
a different grade level in another subject.
For language. So I have workbooks that I kind of just picked up and just working through them and seeing, trying to challenge her and seeing how far I can push her and she still can retain. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I think she's doing great. She really is. It's amazing how much she knows. We can't capture it in the videos. We wish we could, and we actually see the comments from you all that you want to see more of her talking, and we try and video it, but it's the type of thing where she'll just come out of the blue and say something, and it's brilliant and it's a full sentence, or it's new vocabulary that we didn't teach her. or she picked up by listening to us talking in conversation. And then we're like, man, I wish we would have been hit and record before that happened, because it's so cool. So we'll try and capture more of her talking, maybe when she doesn't know she's being recorded, because she gets shy with the vocabulary and stuff when the camcorder comes on, and she goes back to the nodding, the yes and the no, and the simple stuff she did back in India. But she's doing great, and we want to be able to show you that. So we'll see if we can capture more of all that. So question 3: has Cadence experienced any health issues since coming to America? 0. None. It's a pretty simple question to answer. She's done great with the food. She's adapted to the food. We are showing her a wide variety of things. She's gotten to eat more than just your typical American fare. She, being from Calcutta, she still loves fish and rice, so we give her plenty of opportunity to eat rice whenever she wants it, to whether we're at a restaurant or at home. Actually, we've been making rice with a lot of meals. We made that decision beforehand that we wanted her to feel at home.
It's just healthier than fried stuff.
Yeah, to begin with, it's a good option for us, and then it makes her feel kind of at home. And what else? Let's see. We've also tried more like Mexican food. Interestingly, she loves Mexican food, and we took her to a Mexican restaurant back up in Tennessee, and she ate her plate. She ate half of someone else's quesadilla. She was like eating everything, and I mean, I don't know if it's because with the tortilla and the dipping and the sauces and the cheese and all that, maybe she felt like it's more Indian style, like where in Indian food you'll have naan, you'll tear the naan up and you'll scoop up this or that, and maybe she felt like it felt like India, and maybe it felt like home, or maybe it just tastes good. But she loved Indian food, so she's done great adjusting to Indian food, she's done great adjusting to our food. We are going to take her, by the way, to a local Indian market sometime soon, so we will be recording that. We think she'll feel like she's back at home for a little bit. That'll be sweet. And then health-wise, like in terms of allergies or anything like that, no sickness. She hasn't gotten sick once. Not once. No. Any type of sickness, not at all. Whether it's cold or indigestion, nothing. She's
the only thing that we had is when we were in India, the smog is an issue. So she was coughing, and you can hear her sniffling. But when we got home, that kind of stopped.
Yeah, that went away. So health-wise, she's awesome. She's doing great. We're probably going to take her in the first 3 months of being home to a pediatrician just for like a normal checkup. We do that with all of our kids, basically, like a wellness visit every year. So we're probably due for that. So she'll have her. She had one back in India. You'll remember from the video. She had her medical appointment, her exit. So we want to make sure that the health she had leaving the country persists. So probably in the next month or two will be her first pediatrician appointment here in America. So some people recommended it be sooner, but then some people said, listen, it's overkill to bring her home, and the first thing you do is take her to a doctor, let her adjust, let her be a kid, let her learn to love you, let her bond with you, and then let that stuff come later.
And we typically, like, if we don't have any issues, we don't really go to the doctor, besides, like, their annual, so it's one of those things.
Yeah, our kids are generally pretty healthy. Okay, question 4.
What are your children's ages? How old is Cadie? Caleb is 8. He is actually 8.5. Logan,
if you ask him, he's 8.5.
Logan and Timmy will be 6 in May. Timmy will be 4 in May. And Cadie is 7.
We can't even believe that we have to go enroll Timmy in pre-K 4 next month.
No, not even next month. I have to fill out the thing like next week.
February's next week. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. We have 4 school-aged children. At some point recently, I realized that I dropped my silverware at dinner, and I looked over at Melanie and I said, we have to enroll Timmy in pre-K 4 next week? And she said, yeah. And I went, oh, where did the time go? So, yeah, that's their ages, and they're all getting so big, so fast. So, that was a pretty simple one. And then Cadie, you all know, is 7. 7.5. How do you spell Cadie? Question number 5. How do you spell Cadie? Well, first of all, you spell Cadence, Cadence. Cadence. And we
Debated.
Debated and
How to
debated
spell it,
and
yes.
debated and debated how we would spell Cadie. And some of you spell it Cady, Caddy, Cadi, yeah, Cat, Cadie, Catie, Cattie, Caddie, and Cadie. The winner is Cadie. That's Cadie. Phonetically, if you did Cadd with two D's,
It's Caddy,
that
but
would
that's
be
what I
that
wanted.
that would be phonetically Cadie, and we don't want to make the mistake of anyone who knows English phonics really well to accidentally call her Cadie. So it's Cadie. It was almost Cady, and there was a reason that I convinced Melanie not to do Cady. It's more of my thing. I'm the English stickler. I overthink things, if you all can't tell. So her name is C. Stop it. Be nice. So yeah. Anyways, she's Cadie. And the last question, question 6.
What did Katie's education look like in India? We don't actually know a whole lot. We know that she was in what is it called?
A Bengali medium school.
A Bengali medium school. And what medium school is kind of just teaching them that language.
Or they use that language as the base for all other learning.
Right. So it says that she was in nursery. So I don't know what that means.
We don't know.
So it's very vague. Clearly she knows things. She knew pretty much her English alphabet before she came. Before she came home.
Even though it was a Bengali medium school, apparently they still taught some English.
I don't know at what point. I know that English is a second language, popular language in India. So they do teach English. They do teach English, and by the age of about 9, they can speak English. So we know that from a different referral that we received, that we had to pick. And that girl could speak English, and she was 9. So at some point they do teach English. I think that she knew very little. She knows way more Bengali than she does English.
Right.
But some things still carry through, like the math and stuff. So.
Or the word toilet.
Yeah.
The random, I know.
Calcutta is heavily influenced by the British. So some things are close enough that they are easier to learn.
Yeah, and she's familiar with them.
Yeah.
So what did her language look like? It's very hard to tell.
Don't know.
We don't know. If I had to take a guess, I would say that she was probably learning on what in America we would say is like a first or second grade level. With the exclusion of knowing her language, because she could have a 3rd grade reading level in Bengali, but obviously you come here and she's more on like a kindergarten learning level because she's behind in English. She doesn't appear to be too far behind. She doesn't appear to be too far behind in math, but obviously she's far behind in English.
She's not quite at a full 1st grade level in math. So I think that she was more of the kindergarten 1st grade, because they don't have a kindergarten there. So she would have started school. That's what we were told. Right. That she would have started school the last year she was in India. So I'm not sure. We could kind of debate if it was a 1st or 2nd grade, if it was more like a kindergarten 1st grade. Her math skills prove about a kindergarten 1st grade level. So
far we don't.
Yeah, so far
we have to keep digging with her to see what else she knows.
So I don't think. I just don't know what it was. So, but we're thankful that they started teaching her a little bit of English, and that really helped. So, I would say it was more of a kindergarten, at least in structure.
Yeah,
it seems like. So I'm sure there wasn't a one-on-one like she gets at home.
Yeah, and
so that plays a factor in how well she could have retained things.
So, I mean, overall, I'm still amazed by her because the fact of the matter is she only went to school for 2 years of her whole life. By her age, that we know of, by her age, all of our sons would have gone to school for 3.5 years. So she has had almost half as much education as them, and seems to be doing pretty well for that. So I think she is very, very smart. partially because she's my daughter and I get it, and my intuition tells me she's just a smart little booger. But I know that for 2 years of education, I just think she's doing fantastic. So that's question number 6. As you can see on that last question, we're still learning, trying to figure out what it looked like. And, day to day, as Melanie continues to homeschool, she's gaining more of an insight into Cadence's past so that we can help plan her future. So that's it for the first Q&A video. We hope you enjoyed these 6 questions. We hope to have more questions to actually answer for you next time. Here's the thing. We can only do another Q&A video if you send in questions. So again, if you have questions, send them to Mike and Mel at 2inazoo.com. That's Mike and Mel at 2inazoo.com. Okay? You send those questions in, we'll get them into the next video. We are about to hit 1,500 subscribers, y'all. We are at 1,460. And if you don't know what y'all, I did say y'all. If you don't know what y'all is, in America, down in the South, we say y'all. I'm just kidding. I'm from Florida. Florida is not the South. I'm not a Southern boy. I was born in Miami, Florida, but you'll find out more of that in the Meet Mike Chandler episode. I just kind of alluded to a future episode, maybe a new series. I don't know. You'll have to stick around for that too. But we're about to hit 1,500 subscribers, so we need you to help us get there. If you haven't subscribed, I always ask you, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and then hit the little bell icon to get notifications of when our videos come out. We've been trying to put them out a little bit earlier at around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which for our India viewers is about 10:30 at night your time. We did that because we had some Indian viewers saying, I'm having to stay up till 1 a.m. to watch your videos. Can you post them earlier? And then we posted one at noon and someone said, I love it. Thank you for posting early. Share our videos. We had some people saying, can we share your videos on Facebook? Are you all right with that? And my answer is, yes, please do so. Share it anywhere you want to share it. Tell your parents, tell your sister, tell your aunt and uncle, tell anyone who would possibly watch. We want to continue to share with more and more people. So please help us get the word out about our channel. Like this video if you haven't already. And that's it for today. I'm ready to be done talking. How about you? Okay, Melanie's ready for me to be done talking. Okay, see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.